All right, guys, we are officially live. It is a little bit past 8:30, think almost 9 o'clock, coming up on the Central Standard Time. So for those of you who come in late, you just get to watch, but at the same time, you'll be able to view this stream later on. So some quick addendum to some of these pickups. There are a few titles missing. What I'm going to show you guys, mainly because they were part of my Universal Signature Collection pickup video that I did a couple weeks ago. So those won't be in here because you just got to see those basically. But this is pretty much everything else that I've gotten. I want to say over like the last 2 months, because I think the last pickup video I shot was April 1st. So it's been a little while, but believe me, I've gotten a lot of new goodies, a lot of new stuff. So we'll kick it off with do LaserDisc pickups as always. We'll start with LaserDisc Forever members first, then we'll move on to eBay, local pickups, so on and so forth. So first person I need to thank for getting me this is Gary Francis. He ended up finding this at, what is it? Rasputin Records, I want to say it was, out in either Washington or California. And I commented on his photo and said, yeah, dude, pick this one up for me. I really need this. So yeah, he ended up grabbing this one for me. Supposedly only 600 or so copies of this exist. So it's kind of like, yeah, I wanted to get a copy, even though I'm not a big Gone with the Wind fan. But at the same time, this is one of those movies that really isn't worth a lot of money, considering there's only 600 of them out there, because there's like 900 different versions of Gone with the Wind on LaserDisc, so like this little insignificant one doesn't really matter too much. But regardless, X amount of copies only exist, so had to get it just for collecting purposes, so to speak. So thanks a lot, Gary. Now this one, we're going to get the controversy like severely out of the freaking way. We're going to get it out of the way early. So ended up doing a trade with Ty Justice. He wanted the Flintstones LaserDisc box set, and I actually had that. So I was like, okay, well, sure, I'll trade you for what you want to trade for. And, well, like I said, let the controversy start. Yeah, got a nice, minty, fresh copy of a Goofy movie from Ty. Everyone who's been in LaserDisc forever knows about, like, the whole controversy that's been going on recently with this movie about, you know, certain aspects of price fixing and all this other stuff. You know, I have nothing to do with that or anything like that. Point is, I know this movie can go for a lot of money on eBay as of late. So, yeah, to get this basically for free in trade, okay, yeah, I'll take that deal. So very glad to finally have a Goofy movie. And the only reason it even goes for so much is because the only way you can see it in widescreen, like, the movie is readily available on DVD, but you can only get it in full frame format. And I don't even know if it's open matte or not, but yeah, LaserDisc is the only way to get it in a widescreen. So this next person, his name's Kevin Christopher. I almost lost his name for a second. How you doing, Daisuke? Nice to see you, man. Glad you showed up. What is it? A guy named Kevin Christopher. He's in a alternate group that is like a horror and sci-fi cult movie group, and he had a bunch of LaserDiscs for sale, and I had to pick a few to fill a few holes in my collection. So first one we had to get was The Borrower from John McNaughton, one movie that I love completely to death. Haven't owned this since VHS. This movie never came out on DVD over here in the United States. But one reason I really like this movie, John McNaughton, for those of you that don't know, he was originally from Chicago. He's from the Homewood area, which I am close by. He used to work at a bar called Lassen's Tap, which again is like 15 minutes away from my house. I've met John McNaughton several times. He is a very, very nice guy, and this is one movie I really love from him. This was from the guy who made Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. So if you haven't seen The Borrower, check it out any way you can. Great freaking movie. Glad to finally have it on LaserDisc. One that I did own once before, but it was completely rotted to hell because it was a Technodisc pressing. But I got my hands on a copy of a Pioneer pressing, Night Patrol, Jackie Kong flick. Jackie Kong, of course, made what's that? Blood Diner, you know, one of my all-time favorite horror movies. So this movie's actually pretty decent. It's funny, but it's not ha-ha funny, you know. But it's a pretty decent flick. I like it. And had this last one I had to get from him. Was a big fan of the show Forever Night when it was on USA back in the day. But of course, before it was a show, it did have a pilot starring Rick Springfield. And that is Nick Knight. Had no idea this was even released on LaserDisc until this guy, you know, had it for sale. So I hopped on it. I have the DVD of this, but this is just awesome to have on LaserDisc. All right, so next person we got is my main man Trevor Noble, who I talk to like all the freaking time, but he finally hooked me up with a couple of movies. Never seen this one, Mutator, but it's a Prism flick, so look pretty cool. A couple bucks he charged me for it. And I think he charged me like 40 bucks for what I'm about to show you. This one I have seen. I do have the Anchor Bay DVD of this, but wanted to get it on LaserDisc. Android, great freaking movie. Don Opper, of course, from the Critters movies. He wrote this and he starred in it. And then, of course, you got Klaus Kinski, who's like big in the B movies back in the 80s. So, killer flick. And one that I surprisingly never had on LaserDisc until now. And glad to finally have a copy of the original unaltered version of THX 1138. Now, I am not a huge fan of this movie. Yes, I do love George Lucas. Yes, I love Star Wars, blah, 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 blah. But this movie's one hell of a slow burn, and it's just really hard to get through. But I wanted the original version. I got this one from Deanna Gomez, and she sent this one to me for free because, we help each other out in the group a lot. So as a thank you, she gave me Plague of the Zombies, a Hammer flick. I am trying to collect all the Hammer flicks on the Elite label, but that's going to be like next to impossible to do because some of those titles go for a lot of that. And Daisuke asked me, how many LaserDiscs do I have? I'll do a ballpark for you. I got about 1,400 LaserDiscs, almost 2,000 Blu-rays, maybe about 500 DVDs, and maybe 30 or 40 VHS. I purged my VHS a long time ago. So, easy answer to that question. Let's see. Next person we go to is... Now, this is going to be a mixture of everything, so I'm going to thank two people on this one. Jeremiah Johnson and Kevin Kobos. I owe them for these. Kobos hooked me up with two movies that Kevin ended up sending, or not Kevin. Kevin hooked me up with two movies that Jeremiah sent to me, and then Jeremiah bought some movies from Bai and then sent them to me so we could all get it done in one shot. First one we got is Watchers, Corey Haim flick. I watched this a second time recently. Good movie. I really did like it a lot, but man, if you own this on DVD, I feel sorry for you because the DVD is absolute garbage. This is one of those movies that, Lionsgate needs to do on, the Vestron label. This really needs to come back out on the Vestron label because that double feature DVD, there at the very beginning when the plant explodes, you can actually see a tape tracking error right on that. So, yeah, that's pretty bad. So, but yeah, the LaserDisc, you actually don't see that tracking error, at least on this version. This is a nice transfer taken straight from a film print, so it looks really good on LaserDisc. Glad to have that. This one I've been after on LaserDisc for a long time, and I got this movie on VHS, but oh yeah, Nightmares. No OBI, but what you gonna do, right? I mean, I think I got this for 25 bucks, which was one hell of a steal. Great freaking movie. I love Nightmares. You'll actually see the DVD coming up shortly. But yeah, killer movie. It was originally a made-for-TV film, but was deemed too violent by the network to be shown, so it got a theatrical exhibition, where it did not do very well, but it found an audience on home video. Next one. Now, I got this. It was 3 movies and a lot. This was just like a bonus one because there were 2 I wanted, so I figured, what the hell, I'll get this one. But it turns out this What the Hell disc ended up being one that I kind of sort of needed. This is the original theatrical cut of Life Force in widescreen, believe it or not. The domestic disc is only in full frame. This does have an analog track, but there's one really interesting thing about this. Even though this is the original theatrical cut, I'm trying to put it the right way. When the credits start, there is like narration, or there's like an opening crawl explaining the plot. But on this Japanese disc, it's way different. Like, you actually hear an overture from Jerry Goldsmith's music, or not Jerry Goldsmith, I want to say no, Henry Mancini's music score, excuse me. You hear his overture, and then the narration crawls up on screen, and then you get like the canon title that says Life Force, and then all of a sudden the movie just starts. It's kind of like, wow, this is really cool to have that version on LaserDisc. So yeah, all right. I still prefer the international cut, but that's just cool. This one, been after this one for a long time. My favorite David Cronenberg flick, a movie I love to death, Videodrome. God, how I love this movie. I finally have this on like Blu-ray twice over. I have this twice over on LaserDisc. So yeah, I can't say anything about Videodrome that I haven't already said. I love this movie. And one movie that I also really like, and the only way you can get it in widescreen on LaserDisc is through Japan. There has been a Blu-ray release to this, but it is like, what is it? I think it's a foreign release, maybe German or Britain, I can't remember. But yeah, Necronomicon. Haven't seen this in a long freaking time, but I know I did like the movie, so can't remember a lot about it, but glad to have this one. So that's it with Jeremiah and those guys, so thanks a lot, you guys. I appreciate you getting those to me. And last but certainly not least, on the, what is it? On the Lasers Forever pickups, we got Luke Chinkata. So we'll make this one quick. These are the evergreen releases of Star Wars. This is full frame. So yeah, full frame evergreen release. Also have full frame evergreen of Empire Strikes Back. And full frame evergreen of Return of the Jedi. These are just like re-releases of the trilogy came back out in 1986 in Japan with digital sound, you know, better transfers than what the original ones were. But yeah, this is just like a re-release, but these are actually a little bit hard to come by, especially the evergreens. So wanted to get those to fill in some Star Wars gaps in my collection. So let's see. This is going to be a first. This is a Instagram pickup. Yes. For those of you that don't know, Ren Heitman, I know I've dropped that name quite a few times. Really good guy. He was on the LaserDisc Forever page, and you know, big contributor over there, everything like that. But his freaking Facebook account got hacked, and I felt so bad. But luckily, of course, all those of you who know, I have an Instagram page, and I'm still friends with him on Instagram, and we talk all the time. He got a hold of me and he says, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna sell some movies. I know you want this one, so you want it?" I'm like, I can't say no. Finally got a copy of The Monster Squad on LaserDisc. God, how I love this freaking movie. I would love to get the Japanese version of this on LaserDisc, but that is going to be very hard to come by. Funny story about this, and this is the one regret I have in life when it comes to LaserDisc collecting. I could have had this for $5 about 6 years ago. Yeah. I walked into a half-price books. I was a naive collector. I didn't know anything about nothing back then. I had this in my hand, and I put it back. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I wasn't even thinking about, you know, collectability or rarity or anything like that. I was a novice. I didn't know any better. But yeah, I should have bought it back then, but oh well. I have it now. It only took 6 years to get it. But Ren gave it to me for a great price, and believe me, this thing is mint. Like, this is fresh out of the plastic mint. Like, been played once, been played twice since the weekend, but yeah, it's in like phenomenal condition. So that's it with those guys. So now we're on to local pickups, or I should say local pickup. Robot Monster. Been after this one for a while. Looks pretty cool. Half price books pickup. So yeah. There was one other pickup, but unfortunately it's unplayable. And this is one of those things you can't see. If I can pull it right here. Yeah, I got it. I did get this as well, Tiny Toon Adventures, How I Spent My Summer Vacation. But the disc is unplayable, and I'll tell you why. I'll even show you guys why it's unplayable. To the naked eye, it looks perfectly fine. Like, there's no cracks or anything like that, at least none that you can see. But you're not going to be able to see it, but like right where my finger's sliding over, like right there, this is a crack. Like right under the label, you can feel this crack. And it's just like, you can't play this thing, because I put this in my player and both of my players were freaking vibrating like crazy, and I didn't even know why. And then I looked at the disc and I saw that indentation. I'm like, oh no, it's got an internal cracks. It's like it's gone, it's dead. I have another copy, but my copy's in a little bit of rough shape. That was in decent shape, but oh well, the search continues. We are on to eBay purchases. Now this one is not an eBay purchase, but I originally did purchase this off of eBay. Breakdance, aka Breakin'. My first copy came in, it was totally, the side 2 was rotted, and it was not rotted bad, but like, it was bad. It had some snow, but it was watchable. But Chris Thomas over on LaserDisc Forever, he hooked me up with a copy for like 20 bucks shipped, and I couldn't say no to that. It was more than I spent initially, but oh well, it's Breakin'. You know, this is a hard movie to come by on LaserDisc. And of course, we got to follow that up with Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. So yeah, had to get these two insanely bad Canon flicks that I love nearly and dearly. So there you go. Next and final seller on eBay, we have one of my favorite guys, the Ultimate Shopping Center. Great dude. A lot of people don't like him, but I love this guy, and I'll tell you why for a few reasons. First and foremost, we finally got the Never-Ending Story. Had this on Blu-ray for a long time, but never thought to get this on LaserDisc until he had parts 1 and 2 for $4. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll pick them up. And like I said, part 2. So, but there was a reason I got these. I had to pad the lot because he had a LaserDisc that I've been after for quite some time, and it is a rotter. It is a bad rotter. But I rolled the frickin' dice. It was 10 bucks. I couldn't say no. I took a shot. And it is rot-free. Frickin' Ghostbusters, Criterion Collection on LaserDisc. I had this one time before, factory frickin' sealed. I opened it up, it was completely frickin' rotten. It was gone. So I'm like, okay. That was about 2 or so years ago, so yeah, finally got it back. This actually has the paper and the mailing card, so that's even more cool. So it's like, this is in great condition. So happy to have it. This one, and hopefully he gets to see this video later, but I owe Cinema Sickness a shout out, and I owe Derek Hafer a shout out, because Cinema Sickness passed up on getting this movie, and what is it? Blah, 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 I can't even think. Cinema Sickness, aka Dave Eisenhower, if anyone doesn't know his name, Dave Eisenhower, great dude. Derek met him in PA, Pennsylvania a while back, and he bought a bunch of LaserDiscs from Derek, but then, like, when Cinema Sickness or Dave did his video, he passed on this one title, and I messaged him, like, dude, why did you not pick this up? What is wrong with you? And he told me, yeah, I'm so sorry, I should have picked that up. And then, this popped up on eBay, and I had to grab it, If Looks Could Kill. This has only been released to DVD-R, actually, so LaserDisc is like the purest way you can watch this. But man, this is such a good freaking movie. I can't believe he didn't get it. But the cool thing is the situation has been rectified. Derek sent him a copy of Exit to Eden and sent him a copy of this copy as well, because I knew that CS wanted it so bad. So such a great movie, man. From the director of Harry and the Hendersons, and from, believe it or not, story by Fred Decker, Monster Squad. Freaking, yeah. Cool movie. So there you go. Let's see. One movie that I can't believe he had for dirt cheap, and again, kind of a rotter, but got it rot-free, Near Dark, my all-time favorite vampire movie. Most people would say The Lost Boys. I prefer Near Dark. Such a great movie. Glad to finally have that one on LaserDisc. This one I had on LaserDisc a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but finally got it back because it's widescreen edition. Finally got Year of the Dragon. Underrated Michael Cimino flick / Oliver Stone flick, but great freaking movie. Mickey Rourke is so awesome in this. Such a killer movie. I love Year of the Dragon, so finally glad to have that. I just need to get it on DVD. So, one other one that I had in the past, I still have my original LaserDisc of it, but this is the AC3 edition. It really doesn't pop up too often. Brainstorm, great freaking movie. Christopher Walken, Natalie Wood. Awesome to finally have that AC3 version. So, yep. So now we are on to the last of the local. This is the big one, you guys. I mean, a lot of you who've been following me on Facebook and everything like that, you know I like collecting the hard-to-find stuff, the Holy Grails. So there's one person who gets a shout-out. His name is Chris Larson, because without him, I would have never even bothered to message this guy. Chris Larson ended up stumbling across this LaserDisc lot, and he shot me, shot me a message. He said, yeah, you should inquire about it. And the guy was, when I talked to the guy, he was asking $15 per movie. I'm like, okay, that's a bit much. But, you know, I said, you know what, you got a list. Send me a list. And then in this list, I couldn't believe the title I saw. I'm like, oh, my God. This is in the list, and you only want $15 for it. As fast as I could drive up to him, I did. And this is one of the most elusive titles you could ever find on LaserDisc. A holy grail to a lot of freaking people. And one of mine as well, because I saw this movie in the theater. I was one of like the 20 people that saw this in the theaters. But oh yeah, Mystery Men on LaserDisc. God, how I love this movie, and God, how I've been wanting it on LaserDisc for so long. It is just a very, very elusive release. I do not know how many were made, but so glad to have a copy of this. I've got this on Blu-ray. I had it on VHS when it came out. So yeah, this is just a great freaking title. So very happy to have that. So for any of you that are here for the LaserDiscs, I'm done. Sorry. But on top of that note, we are going to go on to one other thing. Let's see. Yeah, you know what, let's do these. I did get a few, before we do DVD and Blu-ray pickups, I did get a few new toys over the last 2 months. I got I'm not going to bring out the player because it's hooked up, obviously, but I did, here's the remote for it. See how it says Blu-ray HD DVD right there, and it says Samsung. I did get the BDUP 5000 HD DVD combination Blu-ray player, and I got this off eBay for like $31, I want to say. It was like a great freaking deal. So yeah, picked it up in Chicago, so I was very glad to get this. And also about a month ago, I picked this up. Again, same thing. I'm not going to pull the player out or anything like that. But I did pick up a Pioneer LDW1, and as you can see, that is the remote for the Pioneer LDW1 right there. Ultimate Shopping Center actually sold this to me for 60 bucks. So, but yeah, it was, I needed this sucker. This and the remote for the Panasonic 900, you have to have them. You just need them, okay? Like any other player you have, you can use any other remote you want. It does not matter. If you had to pick two players where you needed the original remote, it's the LDW1 and the Panasonic LX900. So there you go. Got this. Very happy. So yeah, those were my new toys that I picked up over a while ago. I also did get a Panasonic LaserDisc player for 35 bucks. I wish I would have brought that remote too, so I got like 3 new toys. That one was an eBay purchase, 35 bucks for that one. Guy didn't know if it worked or not. It did work, but it had like one little problem, but I was able to fix it. The clamp needed machine oil, or WD-40, because the clamp wasn't engaging all the way, but it was a quick fix. So yeah. So now we're on to DVD and Blu-ray purchases. This is from Memorial Day a couple weeks ago. How many players do I have total? Daisuke, I have 6 LaserDisc players. I can tell you exactly what I have right now. I have 2 704s, 605. I have a Panasonic LX900, Panasonic 670, and then the LDW1. So yeah, that's all those. And then I have like 5 Blu-ray players. You know, I've got like 3 region-free Blu-ray players. I've got 3 region-free Blu-ray players. I've got an Xbox One. You know, I've got like a ton of stuff. So it's like I'm a heavy collector, if you can't tell. So yeah, on Memorial Day, I stopped at the Goodwill. One of the biggest hits I ever had, like, in my entire life. Everyone was still hungover from the night before, and I was there, like, nice and early, and I hit, like, super hard. If you check out my Instagram, you get to see, like, the whole entire haul, but most of it was from my eBay store. It was, like, I got 7 copies of Mario Kart on the Wii. I got, like, a bunch of freaking out-of-print DVDs that I already own, you know, but, like, I could make some money off of. But, these, I was surprised I found, so I had to keep them. Got Kung Fu Season 1. Let's find a spot for that. There we go. Kung Fu Season 2. And Kung Fu Season 3. A show I never actually watched the whole entire way through. So, but for 12 bucks, 13 after tax, that was a deal, you know. I had to get that. This one I never saw, but I never get to see screener DVDs out in the wild too much. So, Shredder, great. It was just cool to see a screener. I've never seen this movie, so hey, it's a screener. Why not? It was $2. This one, never seen it either, but it looks so ridiculously stupid. I had to get it. This one movie called Perfect Target. It has Robert Englund and Daniel Bernhardt, so why the hell not? Looked like a piece of cheese. I think, yeah, I went to my one local thrift store. They had 2 for $1, so Senior Trip and Airheads. Couldn't say no. I needed Senior Trip on DVD, so yeah. Airheads, another great movie. I actually have the Blu-ray, which is like really hard to find, so. One Amazon pickup. Yeah, 30th anniversary. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Phenomenal transfer if you haven't seen this, by the way. I just read the news, like how if they would have waited to press this for like another 3 weeks, the actual music video to Killer Clowns from Outer Space would have been on this because they got the clearance for it and they were already pressing discs. So it's kind of like, oh crap. We were that close to getting that music video, but oh well, it is what it is. Facts, fact, truth, truth. But we still got a really nice 4K restoration, and it looks amazing, sounds amazing, best it's ever looked. Glad to have that. That's unfortunately like the only Blu-ray I freaking picked up over the last couple months. I'm not buying too many anymore. This one, now this is a movie, again, I already talked about this, so I might as well show it. This is the DVD of Nightmares on, what is it, Anchor Bay. Now this DVD does fetch a little bit of money. I got this from Canada for like 20 bucks. I got like a really good deal on it. Nobody bid on it, so I jumped. The reason this is the one to get over the DVD, or excuse me, over the Shout Factory Blu-ray, is I'll tell you exactly why. Hopefully it won't take too long. Nightmares, again, I said in the past, it was a made-for-TV film, so it was shot in 4:3, 137:1. When Shout Factory, signed the deal to release it on Blu-ray, Universal sent them a cropped version to 178:1. But then they also added as a bonus I'm going to dub this, the original 4:3 presentation. Now, unfortunately, what they did was, it was a double crop job. What they did was they created that 4:3 presentation off the previously cropped 178:1 transfer, kind of like Beatles Let It Be. Like Beatles Let It Be was shot in full frame, but then cropped to 178 for theatrical exhibition, and then when it hit home video, it was cropped into full frame from the already cropped 178:1. So that's exactly what happened with Nightmares on Blu-ray from Shout Factory. From what I understand, it got a release in Britain, but I think it uses the exact same transfer, so it's kind of like, yeah, there's no point. So yeah, the original DVD or the LaserDisc, still the way to go, and even the VHS are still the best ways to watch Nightmares. So sorry about that, guys. So hopefully you didn't splurge on that Blu-ray. I'm glad I didn't. We're going to do a rarity here. We're going to do some VHS. I swear I'm not going to make this a permanent thing, I swear. But I've had some good stuff. I found some good stuff. Got a screener copy of Brain Scan, one of my all-time favorite movies. If you get friends with me on Facebook, you know that The Trickster is my profile pic. So yeah, I love Brain Scan. Could not believe I got a copy of this on VHS, a screener, and even better, I already got the new Blu-ray on pre-order. So yeah, screener of Brain Scan. I hit big at my local thrift the other day. I could not believe I found this as well. Frickin' Prayer of the Roller Boys, phenomenal Corey Haim flick. But what's even more cooler, look at that red frickin' tape right there, man. That, I could not say no to that. I know that a lot of tapes were released like this, but this is just frickin' awesome. I could not say no to that. And it's Prayer of the Roller Boys. I actually am going to trade a friend of mine with this. This is the only reason I picked this up, because I had a buddy of mine, his name's Jason. He is a big Magnetic Video Corporation fan, so he wanted this copy of My Bodyguard. So yeah, what is it? I ended up actually, I had to splice two of these tapes. Like, these had to be spliced. I got some company. Sorry guys, I got a little company.
Get over here.
Willow, you're gonna have to. Willow, give me 10 minutes. You got to go out there with your brother, okay? Thank you.
No.
Sorry, guys. I should have locked the door. There we go. Now I can't have anybody interrupting me. So let's try that one more time. These had to be spliced because the tapes were trashed right at the freaking beginning. So, but luckily I know how to get them open, and luckily I was able to do a really good splice on the both of them. So they are both in perfect playing condition. So I'm going to trade that My Bodyguard for a couple of Halloweens. This one I had to get to because it looked so ridiculous, and I'm glad I did, because I found out this tape goes for like a good amount of money. Masters of Mayhem, or Masters of Menace. See, I never even seen the movie, but I know it has a dude from Sledgehammer, David Rash, so yeah, had to pick that up. I watched a few minutes of it. It was pretty funny. Y'all know I love my Canon garbage, so yeah. Thunder Run. I don't think it's ever been released to DVD or Blu-ray or any LaserDisc for that matter. Ex-Blockbuster rental, but you know what? It's no mold and it played perfectly fine, so looked like a good flick. Why not? And this one I picked up looked really, really cool. Holocaust, the war that shocked the world, so it was 50 cents, so why the hell not? You know, it looked like a pretty good flick. No mole on that one or anything like that. So that's it for that stuff. So we will, oh shoot. You know what? Oh boy, I want you guys to see my fat self. I did pick up one more Blu-ray. I totally forgot. I am region free, so I did get this Electric Dreams on Blu-ray. So yeah, finally came out overseas. Hopefully we'll get it over here in the States. Probably not due to the music rights issues. But yeah, really happy to have this one on Blu-ray, so there you go. Alright, promise that's it for that. Sorry, my kids kind of threw me off there. We will finish it off with, lastly, video game pickups, but I did get some good stuff over the last couple months or so. But these I actually got last week. This was a $10 eBay deal, and it was a risk, but it turned out to be a really good risk. Complete in-box infrared wireless controllers for the Super Nintendo. You know, I took a shot on them. I didn't know if they were going to work or not, but it turns out they worked perfectly fine. They just needed to be cleaned a little bit. One of the batteries had left some corrosion on the terminal, but I was able to take vinegar to it, and both controllers are in perfect working condition. So yeah, there's like 50 bucks for these things in the box if they work. So $10 for a risk was a no-brainer. So why the heck not? Back to my buddy Chris Larson. If you've been following me on my Instagram, you know I picked up a ColecoVision a little while ago, and I've been on the hunt for one of these guys for a little while, and found this one. This is the ColecoVision expansion module number 1. This is what enables you to play Atari 2600 games. So yeah, I showed him a ColecoVision that was out near his work. I only wanted $30 for it, and it came with this. I said, dude, if you go pick that up right now, I got 20 bucks for you just to get me this thing. So yeah, finally got this. So now I've got like my ColecoVision with every single expansion module. So this is really cool. But the big pickup, and this was like, you know, I could say forget any LaserDisc I ever got to this past month or so. I'm telling you, I do love my video games and I love my rare systems, okay? Now, I finally got to do something that I finally got something that I've been wanting to get for about 20 freaking years. Close to 22 years. I wanted this back in 1996 when it was on clearance at Best Buy for $99, and my parents would not get it for me. They got me a PlayStation the next year, but I did want one of these. Every time I see one, I missed it, or the price is wrong, or something like that. But on a whim, I go to the post office, I think 2 Fridays ago, and I log into Let Go app, and I type in Nintendo. And then this thing pops up. Don't ask me why Nintendo. I typed in Nintendo and I got this. But I caught it when it was 8 minutes old. Guy got a hold of me really quick and I made a 40-minute drive to get it. Panasonic 3DO. Been wanting one of these ever since I was 13 years old. I thought it was a really cool system when it came out. There were so many games I wanted to play because I loved those full motion video games. They haven't held up over time. They have not held up very well. But there were a lot of good games on this system that I wanted to play, like P.O.'d and Starblade. Again, you got to remember some of these games, you know, weren't out on the PlayStation yet. You know, they came out eventually. Or I wanted to play Johnny Bazooka Tone. I wanted to play Doom. Who Shot Johnny Rock? You know, games like that. But, you know, could never get a system. But so glad I finally have a Panasonic 3DO. So that freaking made my day. So I'm only a few systems shy of having like everything I ever wanted. I still need to get like a 32X and a TurboGrafx 16. But once I get those, I will consider myself a happy camper. So that is it. And I can't believe 6 people showed up, but only Daisuke is actually freaking talking to me right now, which is pretty damn funny. So I would love to stay in chat. I mean, there is more I could talk about. But unfortunately, you just saw my soon-to-be 4-year-old barged in the room, so she wants her father's attention. And because she probably misses having me up front with her brother. So anyway, sorry for the intrusion, guys. But hey, thanks for hanging out. For those of you who did not get to watch this live, hang tight. Probably in about the next 15 minutes, the stream is going to be uploaded and you'll be able to catch everything that you missed. But until then, hopefully, you know, we'll get something more down the pipeline here. I want to say I have only one title coming in any freaking time soon. I'll even tell you what it is. I got a copy of Ghoulies from Jeremiah, and that's like literally it. I've got nothing else coming down the pipeline. Absolutely nothing else coming in the mail. So, but I will promise you to try to get a new video down the pipeline. I will keep the hunt alive. And I will keep trying to find this and that and everything else in between to add to my collection. So, as always, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. And do what I always do. Keep it spinning. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.